This bay used to be in a far healthier condition. It's been degrading over years, and we've sedimentation running down through the valleys and out into the bay. We've seen, over harvesting of fish. There's just a lot of pressures on this bay. It's not what it once was. So Malama Maunalua, we want to restore this bay to an acceptable level to all bay users. We want more fish in it, we want less invasive algae in it, we want less sediment in it, but we want everyone to still be able to enjoy it. And increased enjoyment by going out and seeing a lot more fish than we just saw in the water there. Maunalua Bay is heavily impacted. It's about 8.5 miles east to west by the shoreline. It goes from Portlock behind me here over to Black Point, over towards Diamond Head. There's 60,000 people live in the catchment of the bay. So there's a lot of pressure on its use. There's numerous shopping centres. There's a lot of hard surfaces, so there's a lot of runoff from the roads and from driveways and things like that. So there really is quite a lot of impact on the bay. I think we know the number of things that it's going to take to restore the bay. We need to reduce the sedimentation. We need to control the overfishing, and we need the community to come together to determine how they want to do that. That it's the community of Maunalua Bay that should be responsible for how this bay is determined to be managed. I think there's many divergent views on a number of things, but I think the vast majority of people in this community would agree that the bay needs help and the bay needs to be in a better condition. So from my perspective, that's where you start. You start with that common understanding and the common belief from many in the community that the bay needs to be in a healthier place, and bring the community together to determine what is the best way for everyone to engage with each other and engage with the bay to make that happen.
Not an easy task.
Oh, it's not an easy task. These things never are. They take a long time. They require a lot of listening, and they require a lot of understanding from people on all the different uses and ways people do use the bay. There's a lot of people, myself included, who don't understand how everybody else engages the bay and what their vision of the bay is, and that's what we would like to see, is an understanding from everybody as to how everybody else uses the bay. I think the best thing for everyone to do is to understand understand the impacts that their activities are having on the bay, and to try and minimize the impacts on the bay as best as they possibly can. The bay needs ecological integrity, but it also needs economic integrity. There's a lot of people's livelihoods, and a lot of people are reliant on this bay in East Honolulu particularly, and it's important that everybody's viewpoint is understood and is taken, because we can have ecological and economic integrity. They're not exclusive. We can have both. I think what we've seen in the water is a decline of marine life over a considerable number of decades, and it's interesting that if you talk to the older generations who have been here forever, they will tell you there's considerable decline. Someone who's 25 may not have seen anywhere near that amount of decline, because their normal, what they think is normal, really is a declined state. So we need to get it back to something like it was before. We're never going to get it back to 1850s type things. We have 60,000 people that live here now, not 20-something families. So we all need to work together. Those 60,000 people need to work together to make this bay a better place. We know that in a survey that was done of 40 different bays around the state has shown that Maunalua Bay has the least fish biomass of all of those 40 surveyed sites. That's not something to be proud of. That's something that we have to work to do something about. I'd like to see it in a healthy state. I'd like to see more fish in it. I'd like to still see people using the bay, enjoying the bay, people making a living from the bay, and those who enjoy walking along it, swimming in it, being able to do that, being able to see a lot more fish in there, and just a healthier environment in general. They are all users of the bay. They look at it on a daily basis. That makes you a user. I think the only way you can do that is to explain to people what it's like in it and around it, where the problems are coming from and where the solutions are and how they can be a part of that solution.